Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another DZ deck profile, and this time, after showing you guys one of the VSPO uh, Vanguard Benny, now this time we are going for Aizawa Ema. So this is the 2 out of 3, the second out of 3 VSPO, which is probably the final one that I'm going to do because I don't have the lyrical Great one. I didn't pick that up, because if I am going to pick that up, I might need to like get lyrical cards as well, which I don't own a lot of those. So I just save my resources, focus on Benny and Emma with Dark States and Dragon Empire cards. So this will be a Dragon Empire hybrid deck. I did recently get the grade 2 lyrical one, so it's on the way, so maybe I can also make the VSPO only version later, but I am more like want to focus on how these kind of collab cards actually bring to the collabing nations. Yeah, so to just get people to just try them out, or maybe just even try those nations, right? Now, for right line, it's very simple. Basically, just the AMR right line. With grade 1, go to grade 2. As long as your opponent has 1 or less regards, you can just ride from the right deck for free. And then when you go from 2 to 3, then you will get her partner, which is helping you to do a lot of things. And when you go to grade 3, Emma, you get a few skills. First one is once per turn, cost Soul Blast 2, draw a card, so you Soul Blast 2 and get a card back, which is very, very nice. Choose one of your opponent's regards, bind it, and if you did not bind a card, your opponents choose 2 cards from their drop and binds them. Now, the binding regards is up to you, but the binding drop zone is based on your opponent. And why do you need those bind cards is for the second skill, which is at the end of the battle this unit attacks. Plus 1 discard 1 card from your hand, stand this unit, and it gets -1 drive until end of turn. And if your opponent's bind zone has 10 or more cards, or you personally ride this turn, then this unit will get a +1 crit until end of turn. Alright, so if you can't personally ride and you bind 10 cards, then you still get a crit when you use the skill to restand, which is very important. But this deck, unfortunately, when you're against the new Stoichia right line, it's really hard to fight, because when you are swinging, they minus you 1 drive for the whole turn, right? So you can only attack with 1 drive, restand is 0 drive, and you need to discard a card for it. But at the same time, you still have to do it, kind of, because if you don't do it, it's just kind of a waste, because they will just keep doing it until you lose. So one more attack, I think, is more important. So when I test against that matchup, I always still restand to fight, and that probably will be your hardest matchup. Otherwise, I think this deck is actually quite kind of anti-meta, because there's a lot of decks that helps picking cards from drop zone. For example, Soccer, you can just keep recycling your resources, and then you will need to bind an order from your bind zone to cost up, gain power, and whatever. And then, for example, Eva, you have the promo that comes from the drop zone by using Energy Blast, and that brings you the new Eva, and then turns you a person right, and so on and so on. And it, you also can grab your partners, your greater partners from your drop zone anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of decks. Even like Archite, which is the new right line, no, not exactly with new support, you still recycling the monster cards from your drop zone. So that's a lot of things that actually involve using cards on the field, using cards from the drop zone. And this deck is again a very good counter, because you keep binding a lot of stuff, and even though those binds won't help you until you get to 10, and even after you get to 10, it's basically just done. Like, more doesn't affect you at all, but I think it's still something that you can consider to just bring in if the deck itself is not very expensive. And then going to the main deck, first we need personal art, we need the soul. So here comes our 3 more copies to make it to happen. And the next card is our old friend, Flying Shot Dragon Cromstaggle. So this is a actually very helpful card. When this card attacks, you soul blast 1, and then your opponents will need to choose 3 cards from their drop. It's not up to 3, so as long as they have 3, they must bind 3. If they have less than 3, they just need to bind whatever they have. And if they couldn't bind 3 cards, you will get plus 10k until end of battle. So if they only have 2 or 1 or even nothing in the drop zone, they bind those, and because you didn't bind 3, you will get 10k. Right? But more important, I think, is to bind 3, which highly speeds up how you get the 10. And but a lot of times I rather use my Ema skill and other skill to bind a lot of stuff, and then make the drop zone not enough for 3, so that I can get 10k and hit them harder. But it's up to you, right? Our goal is to make sure we get the 10, and this card is actually very helpful. And like basically when I am going to make a deck like this, I immediately go into this. So here comes the 4. And then the partner, I think she is called Kogara Toto. So when you go from your grade 2 right line to grade 3, you get this for free, basically, like every single VSPO right line, I think. So that is great. And they also share the same skill that if your Vanguard is VSPO grade 3 or higher, you can energy blast 3 instead of counter blasting 1. And as long as you counter blast 1, you get yourself the partner, the grade 1 partner. So there it is. And then the grade 1 partner on place, your opponents will need to bind 1 card from the drop zone. And when this boosts this, after the battle ends, you put both of them into your soul. The opponents choose one of their you choose one of your opponent's regard, bind them. If not, then they choose 2 of the cards from the drop zone to bind them. So it's basically the Soul Blast 2 draw 1 plus skill, right? And this helps you to free up your soul so that you can Soul Blast. And when you get another copy, you can just, even if when you're running out of this in your deck, you can still pull it from the drop zone, which is different from Benny, that the grade 1 always stuck in the soul, but this time you keep soul blasting them out, and then you bring them back and then put 2 in, so next time you have 2 cards to soul blast, right? So that's also one reason I'm not running 4, because I don't see the actual need to, and I need some space for other cards. That's why. And the grade 2 also got a skill when your opponent is when you have a grade 3 or higher Vanguard attacks, and if the same column you have this, it doesn't need your opponent's Vanguard to be grade 3, which is very nice. You will get plus 5k, and you know your Ema will attack for 2 times, so it's basically a 10k plus. So that for adjusting power, early rush, anything you need, I think that's really great. The only weak point is compared to Benny, that you keep drawing cards so you can also have a big hand size to survive for the turn. This deck, you actually need to commit a lot of cards onto the board, so you don't always get a lot of cards in hand. So yeah, that's kind of one weak point. And then we are running the Dual Nation card, Soaring Freedom, Fort, and Rifletis. So this helps you to increase your soul, because on place you get to soul charge 1. And then if you have a spare Counter Blast to use, then you can choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or higher Reguards and Retard, or you can choose a grade 2 or less card from your soul and call it to Reguard Circle. Now, why is important? Because when you are like kind of lacking attacker, you call this, right? You soul charge 1, because for whatever turn you put these 2 in, they can immediately put this out, and then energy blast 3, bring this out. Then you have basically a free line attack, right? You just need to give this card a boost or use it to attack something that it can hit, right? So I see is very important in here, not only for the calling, you get to do some kind of retiring as well. Sometimes those regards are just annoying and get a chance to pop them. Give yourself an option. That's also great. And you kind of like also want to increase the drop zone so that you can bind them, right? So there you go. And then I am running 4 of the Justina. So Justina is here for me to drop the drag resonance because I'm going to restand. So I'm trying to give all my attacks the highest power that I can give. As long as you're running a restanding Vanguard, I think this is a very good card to use. And 90% of the time you'll use the Stina to drop this and then put it back to the bottom so that you can just kind of keep reusing it. But if you have it in hand, feel free to just use it from hand. That's totally fine because I run 4, so you just have enough chances to use them whenever you need. And because I'm running orders, then I can use Shenri. Now, as long as you play an order, Shenri skill will be active, or if your opponents have 1 or less regards, which sometimes happens because you bind a lot of cards, then she will get plus 5k. After battle ends, put her into the soul and draw 1. So you get the joy card and you free up the soul that you need to soul plus for Emma next turn. And then ending non-trigger cards with PGs. If you want to use the Blaze Order Shield, feel free to use it, up to you. I'm just going to make it simple, so here comes the 4 normal PGs. And then triggers. Dragon and Power T, because we were standing, our skill only actives after the battle ends, so we don't conflict with this OT, so here we are. And actually, I would suggest if you have 4, then you can use 4 of the Soaring Crit, but I just don't have enough. If me, we put in other decks, so I'm using 3. But so far it's okay because I will use my triggers mainly for guarding, but if you want to like add a little bit of safety to your soul charging part, then you can definitely put this to 4 and cut one of these to 3. And because I did say hand size is a problem, so I'm using the draw triggers. And the reason I'm not using front triggers is because I already have a drag resonance. Of course, with front trigger, it will make the power a lot higher. But then, if you don't have some certain amount of cards in hand, it's hard for you to rebuild the board if it get somehow touched. Because a lot of your cards will just be gone. For example, the pair will be gone by themselves. These might just get popped somehow, and there's like no exactly revival. If you draw into another one of these, then you can at least try to rebuild something from your soul. But if you don't have any resources from there, then there's nothing more you can do. And then ending the list with 4 heals. If you want to use any effect heals, feel free to use it. I just want to do it simple again. So here we are. Yeah. So that's basically the deck list. Idea. Just try to bind a lot of cards. Rushing early. Trying to go first. And use drag resonance, restand, hit hard, and win. Yeah, that's basically that. Yeah. So far I only fought the hardest matchup, which again is the Zoikia Neo right line. So minus me 3k, minus me 1 drive makes the fight a lot harder. But at the same time, I did push my opponent to a very tough spot that they still need to give me a lot of stuff back. So it's more up to if I can push them hard enough, so that they need to drop everything and then they can't do the combos, right? But that deck I think is also quite good at keeping the key cards while protecting themselves. I'm also learning from different players on how to play the deck, so I get the idea, and I'm polishing the list, and it will come up very soon as well, so you will see that very soon. And what I think is, if I can use Emma to barely fight against that deck, then I think I can fight a lot of other decks. Because when I am only at one drive, not that easy to hit, I can still push them to a tough spot, even though I couldn't win. But what if I get those 2 drives back? That means there's a lot of things can happen. I have a bigger hand size, I have more chances to hit triggers, then it will be an easier way to win. And as I said, there's a lot of decks that relies on the drop zone. And if you keep binding them, like binding 2, suddenly binding 3, and you really drain all the resources, then here's your chance to shine, basically. Yeah. So overall, this deck is not as impressive as Yakumo Benny, but she still get her point to shine. And again, it's a kind of anti-meta deck, that when there are decks that always not good at phasing early games, not good when their drop zone is gone, then you can use this. Yeah, so if you actually get the cards, you can feel free to try this out. It isn't like too expensive as long as you get the collab cards. This is just a rare. This might be a little bit expensive, but so far I don't see any other replacement yet. This is just a double rare that not a lot of people using, so I think it's fine. This is just a common. Shenri for English is a lot easier to get, I guess. So unless you're playing the JP part, you should be fine. And I need to actually wait for the reprint to get her. PGs are just there, and then the rest is quite easy, I guess. Yeah. So that's it for this deck profile. If you have any questions, or if there are other cards that you used, feel free to let me know. Just don't tell me to use the PSPO full collab cards, because I just don't have them yet. I wish I do, but I don't. So that part I can't help. But if you have other Dragon Empire cards that you use, feel free to let me know. Let's see if it actually helps the deck or not. Of course, subscribe for more different deck profiles, deck fights, unboxing videos. Yeah, I think that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.